Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just us two. That corner coffee shop we like to go. Late night walks with you to take me home. With you I never feel alone.
These little songs make me glad to call you mine. And you have got my head in the clouds.
Yeah guys, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to make several breakfasts in our toaster or in our machine here. And the first thing that I need to make is the French toast, or the toast mayai as we call it here in Kenya. I'm just going to mix the regular ingredient, but the difference is I'll be just making it in the toaster. So let me show you what I need. For the French toast, we all know that we call it French toast or toast mayai here in Kenya. I'm just going to make it regularly. The only difference would be that I'll make it in the toaster. So the first thing that you need is the eggs. These are the free-range eggs, so I have 4 of them. I might not use all of them because not everyone in the house takes some eggs. Then I need some salt. I'll be adding in a pinch of sugar, like a teaspoon of sugar. I need some cinnamon. You can use any of the warm spices that you have, like the cardamom, the nutmeg, but for the French toast I prefer some cinnamon. And then I'll be adding in a bit of milk, maziwa nishafungua, and then I'll be using some margarine to grease my machine. So this one I'll be just using it to grease the machine. And of course we need some bread. So this is everything. Let's get to mixing and we start making our first breakfast.
I don't know what I would do without you, because all I need is you. Make me fly to the clouds. 1, 2, 3. All that I need is your body next to me on rainy days. Just need your company, don't need too much.
In your bowl, mix all the ingredients and give it a good stir.
The simple joy of hearing your voice every morning. I wake to a kiss on my face, so I don't need too much. Just your simple love and it's everything. Can't imagine.
In your preheated sandwich maker, go ahead to grease your pan using your to grease your machine using your margarine. If you don't have margarine, you can still use the vegetable oil or any other oil that you have. Grease it all over, and then you start dipping your bread into your solution and putting it to your machine. Now greased. I'm going to take my bread and I'll dip it in my solution. Normally, when you are making this toast mayai using the normal pan, we usually dip it on both sides because you are going to cook both sides using the pan. But for this one, because you are using the machine, it's a bit different. We only need to dip one side, which is the bottom side, and the upper side, because if you dip both sides, they might end up not cooking well. So just dip the parts that are going to the parts that are going to touch the bottom and the one that are going to touch the upper side. After that, you're going to close your machine, allow it to cook for around 3 minutes, and actually these machines will alert you when whatever is cooking is ready, because that green light will appear, that telling you that the machine, or not the machine, that the bread is ready. So at this point my bread was ready.
Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just us two.
I'm making the second batch, and you just repeat the same process and get your bread ready. So one of the things that I love about this machine is you can always place whatever you are placing in the machine, allow it to cook as you do something else. So this is a plus for me because I can always do something else whenever the breakfast or whatever I'm making is being cooked. So at this point my other batch was ready. You can tell that it was already looking delicious. I love the color. I love everything about this machine.
1, 2, 3. All that I need is your body next to me on rainy days. Just need your.
So I struggled presenting this one, but it is what it is. So that's how it came out. I didn't want to split it. I just wanted to serve it as whole. I'm so glad this one came out perfectly, and I just served it with a cup of tea, and that was it.
Just your simple love and it's everything.
That's it for breakfast number 1. I'll see you when we are making another breakfast. So breakfast number 2 in our sandwich maker is the waffles. We are going to make some waffles in our sandwich maker, and the waffles and the pancake recipe, they are similar. So yeah, whatever you use to make your pancake, just use it to make your waffles. The recipe, the ingredients are similar. So just show that a little bit quick or a bit quick. So I have some sugar, I have some margarine. This margarine I'll be melting it to make my work easier. I have my milk, I have my buttermilk, I have my flour, and lastly I have one of my warm spices, which is the clove. I'll be adding in a bit of clove to my waffle. So this is everything. You can choose to add in a bit of salt. Let me get the salt. Yeah, so I'll be adding in a bit of salt as well. So this is everything. Let's mix and get started. Now you are now going to put everything to your bowl and just mix it. Follow the rule of wet to dry and combine everything together, and that one will give you the paste that you are looking for. The paste should not be too thick, nor should it be too thin. So one ingredient that I forgot to mention is some baking powder. Now if you're not using the self-raising flour, you obviously need to add in some baking powder, but if you're using the self-raising flour, you don't need to add in the baking powder. So that is one important step to note. And I got a question some time back why I like using buttermilk and at the same time I'm still using the milk. Buttermilk, why? Because buttermilk will keep whatever you are making very moist, be it the cakes, be it the pancakes. And now that I have a waffle maker, I'm still using I'm still using my buttermilk to make my waffles. So buttermilk or maziwa mala will keep whatever you are making very soft. If you haven't tried buttermilk in your pancakes or in your baking, especially when you are not using eggs, it comes out very, very perfect. So you can tell at this point my mixture is ready, so I'll go ahead and pour it to my waffle maker. I'll allow that one to cook for around 4 minutes before I can get that out. Remember I said when you see the green light on your machine, just know that whatever you are making is ready, and you can always check it if it is ready to your satisfaction. If not, you can always close the machine, add a few more minutes, and check if whatever you are making is ready. Another thing is that when you make your paste too thick, it will take longer for the waffles to cook. So let your paste not be too thick and let it not be too thin again. So let's continue making the waffles and we'll see the outcome soon.
Fun throughout the day. I'll do anything to get your attention. When you say you love me, I seem to ascend to the heavens above, where we fall in love.
Our first waffle is ready, and that's how it turned out. I love it, I love it, I love it. So I'm just going to, that one by the way took around 4 minutes, so I'm just going to do the rest of the waffles by following the same process.
The clouds. 1, 2, 3. All that I need is your body next to me on rainy days. Just need your company, don't need too much. Just your simple love and it's everything.
of hearing your voice every morning. I wake to a kiss on my face, so I don't need too much. Just your simple love and it's everything. Can't imagine living life alone.
If we were to go our separate ways,
'Cause with you I feel like
who knows how far we go.
Don't you know that all that I need is your body next to me?
At this point, my waffles were ready. I went ahead to serve that with some chocolate sauce. You can use some honey, you can use some whatever sauce that you have, like the caramel sauce and the like. I went ahead to serve with those grapes, and I'm telling you, this was one of the best breakfast that I ever made. So it was so yummy, it was so delicious. I enjoyed every bit of it. So we'll go to breakfast number 3.
Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just us two.
Making breakfast number 3, and for breakfast number 3, this is a sandwich bread. So I'm starting off by frying my prawns on the pan. I just added in some little margarine, and I just dropped my prawns to the pan and allowed them to golden a little bit. Guys, there's a huge difference when you eat the prawn when it is pan fried like the way I've done, and when you just eat it directly from the pack. There is a very huge difference. So since I noted this trick, I love, first of all, frying my prawn before I can add them to my sandwich. Actually, if you have done this, let me know if you concur with me, and if you haven't done this, please try it and let us all agree that this is the best trick when you're making your prawns. Very gentle, because they tend to break when they are being flipped. Be very gentle. We are going to make a sandwich, yes, and for the sandwich we are going to keep it simple as well, because I just use whatever I had in the house. And the first thing that we need, it's obviously we need some bread, we need the prawn. You've seen me pan frying the prawn in the pan for a little bit, so I have my prawn and they are here already fried. So this one was chicken. You can use the one you have. It if it is beef or something, or pork, just use the one that you have in the house. Yeah, so I have my prawn, I have my tomatoes. For the tomatoes or for the vegetables, you can use whatever you have. You can use some lettuce, you can use some cucumber, but for today I have these tomatoes only. And then we just need our butter in order to grease or to butter our loaf before we put it in the sandwich. So this is everything. And I have some salt, which is optional. You can add in a bit of salt and some black pepper when you are placing your tomatoes. That one is totally optional. You can choose to add in the salt and the black pepper, and you can choose to just leave it like that. But for me, I just add in a bit of salt because my husband doesn't like black pepper, so I'll just add in some salt. So this is everything. Let's get started.
Don't need too much, just your simple love and it's everything. The simple joy of hearing your voice.
Yeah, so you've already buttered your bread, or you've already smeared some butter in your bread. And for this one, you don't need to grease your pan because the butter is in there already. You're going to spread your prawns and then add in your tomatoes, sprinkle a bit of salt, and then you're going to add the top bread or the other piece of bread. Close your machine for around 2 minutes and it will be ready. After 2 minutes, I want to check, and the first thing that I do is to switch off the socket and then open my machine. Oh wow, it's done. We can already tell it's done. So I'll just get it out of the machine. Yeah, so this is how it's looking. It's looking so yummy. So I'll do the next batch and we'll serve. check our second batch if it is ready. I've switched off my machine. Where machine? Wow, it's done. Looking so inviting. Oh wow, I love this one. I love this one. Tell me if you do. Yeah, but it is looking so perfect and so delicious. So we'll just go ahead and plate it and have it with our tea.
Where you're on my side, high up in the sky, cruising through the night.
Yeah, so this is the actual look of the bread when I'm not using a ring light. Yeah, so this is how it looks. I guess it's still okay whether with a ring light or not. What do you think? What do you think, my people? Let me know. And on breakfast number 4 in our sandwich maker, and this one will be the mini donut. So we'll be making some mini donuts, and for these mini donuts you just require a few ingredients. I have my flour. This is self-raising flour. If you don't have self-raising flour, you can add in some baking powder, but to avoid the hassle of measuring and the like, just use some self-raising flour. So I'm going to use some self-raising flour, and then I'll be adding in some milk. Yeah, I have some milk here. I'll be adding in, and then I'll be adding in some vanilla essence. I'll be adding in some nutmeg. On the nutmeg, you can use one of the warm spices that you have. You don't necessarily have to use nutmeg. You can use what you have, like cinnamon, cardamom, and even a bit of clove. If you have that, you can add it. You can use it if you don't have nutmeg, but for this I chose to go with nutmeg. So I have some nutmeg, and then I have some cocoa powder. Yeah, this is the cocoa powder. Yeah, this is the cocoa powder. This is the one that I'm using, not the drinking chocolate, the cocoa powder, the one that is unsweetened. Yeah, so I'm going to use this. So this one is here. This one where I'm using this one, I'll not use too much of it. I don't want it to be so chocolatey, so I'll just use a little bit of that just to break the white color and the like. So I'll be adding in some cocoa powder, and then you need some sugar, but in this case I didn't have some sugar, or I have, but I have this icing sugar that has been lying here for a while, so I just decided to use icing sugar instead of using the regular sugar. So if you don't have the icing sugar, just use the regular sugar and it will still give you the same results. So I have some icing sugar, and then finally we have some cooking oil. Yeah, finally we have some cooking oil. Again, on the cooking oil, you can use butter, you can use margarine, you can use some Blue Band, whatever you have. But for me, it's turkey could beat. I don't want to beat the mixture so much using my hands or using a hand mixer, so I chose to go with the oil. Yeah, oil is just easy. Mix everything together and boom, put it in your machine and start cooking. So this is everything that we need for the mini donut. So let's get started. But in case you are interested to make this exactly mini donuts, I'll leave everything in the description box so you can check out that. So let's start making the mini donuts.
Too long, but I don't wanna come down. Caught up in a long free fall, you got me off of the ground. Sway for a minute, the plane moves side to side. Feel a mile high.
going to mix everything into your bowl, and then we just follow the same process of greasing your machine and transferring your paste to your machine and allowing that to cook for around 5 minutes. Yeah guys, so at this point I realized my dough was a bit thick, so I had to lighten it a little bit using some milk, and then I proceeded to doing the next step. Another thing to note is you might not get the right measurement when you're putting the first or the second batch into your machine, but once you keep going for the third, for the fourth time, you'll actually get it correct. So you'll notice that my first batch zilikuwa zimezidi the measurement, but it is fine. As I went on, you will notice that you'll be able to balance and just put the right measurement in the machine. So my first batch is already going on, so we'll allow that to cook for around 5 minutes and be checking that out.
Loving, baby, living on the prayer that you catch and save me. I was unaware of our elevation till I looked down. All the people look like it's not high. When you're on my side, higher in the sky.
I'm making the second batch. Yeah, I'm making the second batch, and then we'll see the outcome. So look at this, you can tell already that there is a huge difference between the first and the second batch. Yeah, so as I mentioned, as you keep on going and putting the ingredients in your machine, you'll get better by just eyeballing the right amount into the machine. So this was the turnout, and at this point I was already done, and I just went ahead to put them in that plate for presentation.
Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just us two. That corner coffee shop we like to go. Late night walks with you to take me home. With you I never feel alone.
These little songs make me glad to call you mine. And you have got my head in the clouds.
1, 2, 3. All that I need.
Yeah, so my people, thank you so much for sticking with me to this very end. So my donuts are ready at this point, and I just want to cut through. And I said these are mini donuts, keep that in mind. So they're very, very well done from the inside. They are super soft on the inside and a bit crispy on the outside. So my donuts are ready. This one you can just serve them with whatever you have, tea, milk, whatever you have. This one will go very well. So is there anything that I'm leaving behind? Is there? I'm not sure if there's anything I'm leaving behind. Anyway, this is it. So you've seen the recipe. If you're interested, I'll leave everything in the description box. But so the audio wasn't so clear on this one or on this part, so I opted to do a voiceover. Yeah, so here I was just talking about the machine. So this machine, if you ask me, it's one of the gadgets that every household should have. It makes your work very easy, and it helps you prepare your breakfast in few minutes, and you get done and serve your family. So this machine is a 6-in-1 sandwich maker set. It comes with a donut maker, a mini donut maker, a grill, a sandwich maker, a waffle maker, and there are also those two things there that I don't know what they are used for, but I guess the recipe you can make for the mini donuts can still work in both of those other compartments. Yeah, so this machine, as I mentioned, is one of my favorite gadget in the house. Actually, I love it because it doesn't consume much energy as well, so it's just perfect for a household, for every household. But also you want to keep in mind that these gadgets or these compartments, they are really mini. Ni zile mini kabisa, they are mini whatever makers, but they just do the job perfectly. So I love this machine. I would love to know if you own one, which brand you own, and how long has it served you for, and would you recommend it? For me, I would recommend this one. But by the way, I got it during the time there was an offer in most of the parts, or in most of the stores in Kenya during the Christmas season, and I'm telling you, I got it at half the price. So it was around 8,000, but I got it at around 4,300 there, and I felt so good because I had desired to get this thing for the longest, but actually that was the best time. So this is it about the review. If you ask me, this is the best gadget that one can ever own. So thank you so much. So my people, I'll be ending the video here. Thank you so much if you stuck with me from the beginning to this point. I really appreciate you. The Premier Gang, thank you so much for being with me whenever I premiere my videos. And to those subscribers who always come back, I appreciate you all. And to those who are new here, I hope I've earned your subscription. And to that one subscriber who always finds my content worthy of his or her subscription, I'm always grateful. So this is it for the video. I hope you got to learn something. I hope you get to try one of these recipe if you have these machines. Yeah, they are perfect. They are very perfect. They work best. So allow me to end the video here. Until my next one. Bye.